News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
And I'm Lisa Mateo.
Lisa, the lift in stocks this morning comes as the U.S. is set to unveil its first major trade deal. Bloomberg News has learned President Donald Trump will announce an agreement later this morning with the U.K., and that announcement will come in Washington. We begin our team coverage this morning with Bloomberg News senior editor Derek Wallbank.
Well, I think it's significant in a couple of different ways, regardless of what's actually in it, because it's going to provide a framework for seeing what is going to be able to lower the temperature in trade talks with the United States, right? This has been one of the things we've seen since the Liberation Day stuff in early April. There has been a giant question of what it was going to take to get an actual deal inked. It looks like it's going to be the first deal of some substance.
Bloomberg's Derek Wallbank says any deal would come with significant caveats. Full-scale trade pacts typically take years to negotiate.
Nathan, UK Premier Keir Starmer also speaking about the trade talks. Bloomberg's Ewan Potts continues our team coverage from London. Good morning, Ewan.
A deal with the United States has long been the holy grail of UK trade policy. Imports from and exports to the world's biggest economy total more than $300 billion a year and account for £1 in 6 of all UK trade. But politically, a deal has always been fraught with risk for the UK, with many fearing a lowering of food standards and more corporate involvement in the healthcare sector. UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer spoke in London this morning.
The United States, an indispensable ally for our economic and national security. As you know, talks with the US have been ongoing, and you'll hear more from me about that later today.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. Bloomberg understands that recent talks have included reducing US tariffs on cars and steel, with tech and AI another focus of negotiations. But how far the two sides strayed into more controversial policy areas and how deep the tariff cuts will go, well, we'll find out later today. In London, I'm Ewan Potts, Bloomberg Radio.
Tensions continue to escalate between India and Pakistan. This morning, Pakistan's military says it shot down more than 24 drones from India in an attack that killed one civilian and wounded 4 soldiers. This follows a day when India struck what it called known terror camps inside Pakistan, killing 31 people, according to Pakistani officials. Hostilities have been rising since a militant attack in the disputed Kashmir region last month that killed 26 people, most of them Indian Hindu tourists.
Lisa, Bloomberg News has learned the Trump administration plans to rescind Biden-era AI chip curbs in a bid to revise semiconductor trade restrictions. The existing measures have been heavily criticized by major tech companies and foreign governments. The repeal is yet to be finalized, but it looks to abolish the tiered system that was created to regulate chip exports from the likes of NVIDIA and other firms. Bloomberg News senior tech editor Michael Shepard says the move would be a victory for big tech.
It's a win for NVIDIA, which has pressed for a total repeal of these chips curves. It's known as the AI diffusion rule, and it really has caused a lot of consternation in the industry because they see it as something that will have the perverse effect of throwing countries and their companies into China's arms, seeking access to advanced AI technology.
Bloomberg's Mike Shepard says the Trump administration won't enforce the curb known as the AI diffusion rule when it takes effect on May 15th. Chip stocks led by NVIDIA are rising this morning. NVIDIA shares are higher by nearly 2%.
And turning to the economy now, Nathan, Fed Chair Jay Powell says the future of interest rates will not be determined until there is more clarity over trade policy. Let's get the latest with Bloomberg's John Tucker. John.
Yeah, good morning, Lisa. The message from Powell and the Fed is there's no rush to cut rates.
We don't think we need to be in a hurry. We think we can be patient. We're going to be watching the data. The data may move quickly or slowly, but we do think we're in a good position where we are to let things evolve.
Powell and his colleagues held interest rates steady. Former New York Fed President Bill Dudley says tariff uncertainty leaves the Fed little choice.
So in that environment, it's sort of like, the Hippocratic Oath, do no harm to your patient.
Powell acknowledged that consumer and business sentiment had darkened amid the erratic tariff announcements, but he also said the hard data still paint a picture of a healthy economy. Well, the futures markets show investors still expect 3 interest rate cuts this year, with odds of a cut as early as July at about 85%. In New York, I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
And that's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Nathan Hager.
I'm Lisa Mateo, and this is Bloomberg.